Yeah, there's the G sharp that we need. There's an F natural. F to G sharp is what interval? It's a weird interval in a scale. What is it? It's a second, but what kind of second? Augmented second. Where is the only time that you ever find an augmented second in all the scales that you know? There's only one time. Is it a major scale? Is it a natural minor scale? That's the same notes as a different major scale. Is it a melodic minor scale? Nope, that has the lay and te. The one that has lay and t in it is harmonic minor. So if F and G sharp are lay and T, what scale is this? If T is G sharp, what's Do? A. This is an A natural minor scale. And the way we know it is that weird interval right there, F to G sharp. So A minor is the 6 chord. I mean, you have a 5 chord, you could go to a minor 6 next, right? That's not weird at all. However, don't write that yet. That's not what we have because this is an E chord. But it's suggesting A minor, like it's making us think about A minor because of that interval. And look here, we see the next chord, next bar has octave A's in the low left hand. So we're in the ballpark here. We haven't exactly figured out what's happening yet, but we're pretty close. So this is an E7 chord, and it's suggesting the key of A minor. But hold off on that, just keep that in mind. This is an E7 chord, which is, when I figure this out, I don't know my Roman numerals because this is weird. So what I do first is I go up to the top of this box, and I just write E dominant 7. I might even put in parentheses A minor just because I found that scale. I don't know what I'm going to do with that A minor yet, but it's in this neighborhood because of that F to G sharp interval in the scale. Okay, so now we're going to look at the next bar. We don't know the Roman numeral for this bar yet, so we'll just say here's what's in here. It's an E dominant 7 chord, and it's suggesting A minor. What is E dominant 7 in the key of A minor? It's a 5 chord. So what we're saying is this is sort of, at least temporarily, an A minor passage with the dominant chord. We'll figure out what that's going to do in just a second. Now we go to the next bar. Look at the left hand. I'm already thinking A minor because of that weird scale. Now I go here in A minor. There's C, repeating C all through the bar. That is the note that I need to complete my A chord, A, C, E, which is in the key of C major or the key of G major, which we're going to. They both have an A minor chord in them. In the key of C, A minor is the 6 chord. In the key of G major, A minor is the 2 chord. So that A minor it fits in both keys. That's a big signal that we're kind of moving between the keys right now. We might call that a transition chord or something like that later. Okay, so A minor here. Do you need me to talk through all the non-chord tones in that A minor chord? Everybody good with that? It's mostly neighbor tones. Maybe all neighbor tones. That one's an appoggiatura, leap step, neighbor, neighbor, upper neighbor, lower neighbor, lower neighbor. Okay, I guess I talked through them anyway. I look this bar then. Look at our left hand. We have D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, D, 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 F sharp. This is very similar to that one, except now we're on D instead of E. Then we look at this scale. I'll bet we're going to have that weird interval in it again. A, C, that makes it a dominant. D dominant 7, D, F sharp, A, C. F sharp, A, everything here is D, F sharp, A, C. We come over here and we have A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A. So we did not get that weird interval. That's just a regular G scale. 1 sharp, F sharp, everything else natural. That's where we're expecting we're going, right? We already kind of knew that. In the key of G, what is a D dominant 7 chord? 5/7. So I'm going to go ahead and just say we have an A minor, which is a 2 chord in the new key. We have a 5/7 in the new key. At this point, I think we are in the key of G. And I'm guessing the next chord on the next page, we're not going to talk about it because it's our homework, but it should be a G chord, and I think from that point forward, you're in the key of G. So the way I would mark this modulation, you don't have to do this because you won't have modulations on that next page, but look at how I do it here, just so we know. This is a 5 chord of A, so what I would call this is, in the key of C, which we're in, I would call this 5/7 of 6. Then I'm going to do my modulation bracket. Notice this bracket is open on the left side, that's the old key, and it's open on the right side, that's the new key. Look at where I'm pointing right here for a second. On the left side, this bracket is open for the old key. That means 5/7 of 6 is what it is in the old key. It's 5/7 of A. In the key of C major, A is the 6 chord, and the 5 chord, 5 of 6, 5 of A is E dominant. Therefore, we have 5 of 6. In the new key, which is G major, this bracket is open on the right in the new key, and in the new key, this is 5/7 of 2. Where does the 5/7 of 2 chord go? Don't think too much. 5/7 of 2 goes to 2. Has to. And then we have the 2 chord here, we have the 5/7 here, and it's almost certainly going to resolve to G major in the beginning of your midterm. Then you do exactly what we just did. You just do it in the key of G for the rest of the next page. I'm going to go ahead and look and make sure that those go to a G. It goes to a G that looks very similar to bar 1. So I just gave you the first answer. Listen closely, here's another hint. The first half of the next bar is a G chord. Not the whole next bar is not a G chord. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. Do you all feel better about this after going through that page? You feel like you're going to be able to go home and do a good job on the second page? Not perfect, doesn't have to be right. It just has to be your best. And you have, I mean, your answers have to make sense given what you know, but they will because you know it. Yeah. I'm going to move back to my desk here. I think we're done with the projector. Yeah, go ahead. Stop.